Hey guys, it's Sarah from Yucatec, and if you notice, we are not inside the Yucatec HQ. In fact, we're not even in Parañaque. We are here in the beautiful Evil City in Cavite. And that's because what we're gonna be checking out today doesn't exactly fit inside the Aero room. And it's this, the all-new 2025 Kia Sorento Turbo Hybrid. Yes, you got that right. It's now got a hybrid engine under the hood. So what else is new? Well, stay tuned to find out. So as you all know, 2024 was a big year for Kia Philippines. They launched the EV9, which is a full electric vehicle, along with the Carnival Turbo Hybrid, which is a hybrid vehicle. And now into 2025, they are continuing on with more electrified vehicles, starting with the new 2025 updated Kia Sorento. And as you can see, there are a lot of changes, which we're going to be talking about right now. So let's start with the exterior. I know you guys want to know more about the engine, but we'll get to that in a bit. And as you can see, Kia made a lot of changes to the front end of the 2025 Sorento. In fact, if you didn't know, you might think this is an all-new model, but no, this is still based on the 4th generation model, which was released in 2020. Instead, Kia has given it a major upgrade in terms of the design. And one of the biggest design upgrades are the new vertically stacked LED headlights, which now resemble that of the EV9. Moving along, we have the all-new grille, which is a derivative of the Tiger Nose grille, which Kia has been a signature of. It looks a lot more aggressive and sportier, which I personally like. There's also a new bumper to match the redesigned front end. And of course, you have the new Kia logo, which no longer has the circle with the Kia. Instead, it's this new logo that they revealed a few years back. And actually, it looks really nice. And now if the front end reminds you of the Kia EV9 and even the all-new Carnival, well, that should give you an idea of what future Kia models will look like, as this is what their new design language will be moving forward. All right, so here we are at the side of the 2025 Sorento, and as you can see, things are a little bit more familiar. While you do have new 19-inch wheels, the rest of the body panel remains rather unchanged. You still have this chrome trim here, the matte black with the chrome here, and even the shape of the windows remain unchanged, including this chrome trim that goes up over here. But what is new is hidden underneath this side mirror. It's a 360-degree camera. The rest of the things you have, keyless entry, and that's pretty much it on the side. Now, let's go check out the rear. All right, so here we are at the back of the 2025 Sorento, and as you can see, not a lot of changes here too. You do have updated LED taillights with a vertically stacked element to match the headlights of the front. Aside from that, you have a slightly revised rear bumper, and of course, you also get the new Kia badging here. And like before, you still get an automatic tailgate, which makes it a lot easier if you have a lot of groceries on hand, and of course, a big boot, which we'll talk about later on. And aside from that, the only telltale sign that this is the hybrid model is this badge right here, HEV, which stands for Hybrid Electric Vehicle. All right, so here we are inside the 2025 Sorento Turbo Hybrid. And as you can see, there is a lot of changes to the dashboard. It's now a lot cleaner and it definitely looks better than before. In fact, it looks a bit more futuristic, as you can tell. Instead of big, clunky aircon vents here, they're now hidden here in the center to give it a more streamlined look. And as for everything else, you have a new 12.3-inch touchscreen infotainment system. And in front of the driver, there's a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster, which you can change the settings depending on what you want. Do you want analog like circular gauges of the classic cars, which is what I like? Or do you want the more futuristic, something out of Gundam and stuff? So how do you control the aircon system? Well, thankfully, it's not in the infotainment system. It's down here, and these are all touch-sensitive buttons except for the knobs. What's cool is this also doubles as a control for the infotainment system. In fact, you just need to press this, and you change to your infotainment menu. Other new cool features include 2 USB-C ports down here and even a wireless charger. You even have ventilated seats for both the passenger and the driver. You can also set them to heat, which I don't know where you're going to be using in the Philippines, but at least you have that feature. In fact, you can maybe use it to keep your food warm. Other things available include a redesigned siding. And as you can notice here, there is new memory seats. So you can adjust the seat position automatically depending on who's driving. Let's say you have a wife, your wife wants to drive, you can set it to memory number 2. If you're the one driving, set it to 1. Moving down the center console, you can see the updated rotary knob. Some of you may like it. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of rotary knobs, but some might find it a lot more convenient rather than having to shift it down. Down here, you can select your driving modes, Eco, Sport, or Smart, or if you can change into the different terrains you might be driving on. This then allows the car to automatically adjust all of its systems to make it a lot easier when you're driving on these kinds of terrains. Since this is the top of the line variant, you do get heated steering wheel, which not really useful in the Philippines. Again, nice to have. And you also have auto hold, the hill descent, and the 360 camera along with your parking sensor. And of course, you have an electronic parking brake. Together with the Qi wireless charger, you have extra space on the side, and you can even put some stuff on top of your phone, especially if you're not going to be using it, which you shouldn't, because you shouldn't be using your phone while you're driving. Then you have 2 cup holders here. They're not the biggest, but they can hold your Starbucks drinks. This variant does come with Bose speaker systems. In fact, there are 12 speakers and they sound great. But what's great about the 2025 Sorento is that it has wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, and it's very easy to set up. Let's move on to what's in front of the driver. Aside from the 12.3-inch instrument cluster, you do have a lot of steering wheel controls in front of you. On the left side, you have everything that controls the infotainment, your volume, changing the music, calls, and even voice activation. On the right side of the steering wheel, you have everything that controls driving parameters. This includes ADAS, so that's your cruise control, and even lane tracing. You can even adjust the distance of how far the car will follow in front of you. And of course, you still have your paddle shifters. But these paddle shifters do more than just upshift or downshift. In fact, it's here that you control how aggressive the regenerative braking of the vehicle is. So you can set it to 3, which is very aggressive for our driving style, or you can set it to 1. But for the best and optimum driving style, you can set it to auto. And you do so by pressing or holding the left and right paddle shifters. And what's cool is when you're on the road, you can actually see your hybrid system at work here on the infotainment system. You can see what your fuel economy is, how much battery you're using, whether the battery is being used, whether it's being charged, and how much electricity the electric motor is using. So from here, you can maybe adjust your driving style to drive a bit more efficiently. Last but not least, you get a panoramic sunroof. So it does stretch up until the second row. Speaking of second row, let's go check that one out right now. So here we are in the second row. And as you can see, there is still a lot of space for legroom. Mind you, this is adjusted to my driving style, and I'm a bit of a tall guy. I'm like almost 5'8 and a half, almost 5'9, and there's still a lot of legroom. In fact, I can still cross my legs and it won't hit the front seats. Speaking of the front seats, I do have to note the seats are new, which you couldn't tell earlier because I was sitting in it. And as you can see, you get this nice leather finish here, and you also get a USB-C port over here. This makes it a lot easier when you're charging your phone, especially as a passenger, because rather than having to go from down here and the cable's a bit short, you can just plug it in here and you're good to go. You get 2 central aircon vents down here and even a 12-volt socket down here. What else? The front passenger seat can be adjusted by the rear passengers. And that's similar to what you would find on executive sedans. So if you're being chauffeured, you can just move this forward and you have infinite legroom. You have cup holders on the door, 1 on each side. There's another one down here, and there's another storage space on the side. So this thing has a lot of storage. And as for the second row seats, you can pull this down to reveal more cup holders. Now, as you all know, the Sorento is a 7-seat crossover. So you do have third row seating, and that's what we're going to be checking out right now. Will I fit? Let's find out. All right, so here we are in the third row. And as you can see, it's still somewhat spacious. It's not the most comfortable, but I do have some legroom. But for me, I don't find it too comfortable because I'm a bit tall and my knees and legs are a bit squeezed up next to me. And for reminder, the second row seats are adjusted to the one I did a while ago. But if you're someone who's very friendly and you want to give the third row person a bit more space, you can adjust it a bit. So you do get more legroom. Can I cross my legs? Well, yes, but I will be hitting the person sitting beside me, assuming there is one. In the third row, you get your own aircon vents, which you can control via this knob right here. You can also adjust the second row and make it tumble forward via these two buttons over here. You also get another 12-volt socket over here, and of course, as you would expect, a lot more storage. You also get two speakers in the third row of seats. That means you do get some decent audio even if you're at the back. And now let's check out the trunk space. Now I did mention earlier we do have a big trunk. With the third row up, you still got space for your stuff. You can even fit a medium-sized luggage over here. But if you pull these down, yes, the third row seats do have to fall down manually. You get a lot more space. Now, if this still isn't enough space, you can automatically fold down the second row seats without having to go to the second row. You can just push these two buttons over here and they recline automatically. For a total, you can have up to 2,139 liters of cargo space. You could carry all your friend's stuff, help someone move out. Better yet, you could even put a mattress inside. Go glamping. I mean, this crossover does come with all-wheel drive, at least for the SX Plus variant, which we'll talk about right now under the hood. So here we have it, the new powertrain of the 2025 Sorento Turbo Hybrid. It's a 1.6 liter turbocharged inline-4 gasoline engine, and it does have an electric motor to help it become a lot more economical. Total combined output is 235 PS and 367 Newton meters of torque. All that power is then sent to all four wheels via a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, this is only for the SX Plus variant. The lower trim variants do come with only two-wheel drive, which drives the front wheels. Now, as for driving this car, it's very, very smooth. You can get the power down easily because you do have different driving modes down here, which is either Eco, Sport, or Smart. I know it has that electric motor that gives you that instant torque, but when you do go up to speed, it can. It's not like your typical hybrid engine that, it's more geared towards just being efficient. This thing can actually drive fast if you want to go fast. And then you also have your terrain selection. I mean, earlier we were able to drive off-road and it wasn't really a trail, but it was just some dirt track and it felt very composed. Even with our test driver, Steph, who floored it during the corners, it was very, very stable. Amazing. In terms of handling, this car does handle really well and it can actually corner well too. Steph gave me the opportunity a while ago to try going fast on the corners, and that's where the all-wheel drive system kicks in. When it detects it's about to understeer, the rear wheels automatically kick in to make the car rotate. That's also the same feature that helps it become stable during the Moose test we tried out. So we don't really have enough time right now to do a proper fuel economy run, but we'll save that for a future review video, which will likely come out on the Yuga Auto channel, so stay tuned for that. Even though we don't really have time, I've really enjoyed this drive with this car. I mean, everything's so comfortable. All of the features are very helpful, and I can already imagine how it can make driving in Manila a lot easier. You have all of the features you would need: wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, all of the ADAS, blind spot assist, lane keep. All of them are gonna be very helpful when you're on the road, and more importantly, it'll keep you safe on the road. Now you're probably wondering, how much does this crossover cost? Well, for reference, we are in the top of the line SX Plus variant, but there will be 3 trim levels available. And at the time we recorded this video, Kia Philippines has not yet released the official price list, but we were told that the base model will start at around 2.2 million. And that's roughly the same price as how much the pre-facelift, or at least the outgoing variant of the Sorento is. So you can imagine you have a new 1.6 liter turbo hybrid engine and a bunch of safety systems and the starting price. We will post the full price list down below in the description once we do have it. So that's about it for the 2025 Kia Sorento Turbo Hybrid. You get the nice mix of a hybrid engine, but with the performance to match. I mean, this car does produce 235 horsepower and 367 Newton meters of torque, which is a lot for a hybrid, specifically in a crossover, which you wouldn't really expect. It also has all-wheel drive, at least for the SX Plus variant, which is nice to have, even though you may not be using it all the time. This allows it to go off-road. Well, light off-road, not gonna be able to trail, but it can if you want to. So this makes it possible to go glamping. And who knows, you might want to bring your family along. I mean, Kia does intend this car to be someone who wants to bring their family along. This is a 7-seater crossover after all, just like the previous Sorentos that came before it. So that's about it for this video. I've been Jose, and see you guys in the next one.